Hi everybody, welcome to Human Development Across the Lifespan and another new semester here at University of West Florida. My name is Sean Fox and I'm going to be your professor over the coming weeks and months of this semester as we explore the different aspects of growth and development from birth all the way through to death. The purpose of this video is to both kind of give you a little bit of an introduction to me and let you know that even though this is an online class, I am a real person. Right? Feel free to reach out to me. I am very hands-on. You'll kind of see that as we go through the semester. This course in particular does involve me really interacting with you all on a personal level. And usually that's done through emails, but I'll also show you as I go through this video also some of the other different ways that you can reach out to me if you want to have a little bit more of a personal connection, like through Zoom or phone calls. The other purpose of this video is just to give you a nice basic foundation of what this course entails, and more importantly, what you really need to do to start off the semester on a good footing in this class, and especially what you need to do during the first week. So when you first log into the class, this is going to be the page that comes up. It'll be the page that comes up every time you log into this class, so not just during the first week, but throughout the semester. Obviously, during this first week, probably no surprise here, the first thing you're going to want to click on is the Start Here button. After the first week, after you've done the few activities, you kind of feel a little more comfortable with how the course is laid out, then the way that you're going to access all the material in this course is through the Modules button. So you can either click this Modules button here or the one over on the left. Underneath the Start Here button by the Modules button, there's also the syllabus. There's the instructor homepage. So if you click on that, there'll be a goofy photo of myself on there, a little bit of a bio about who I am, kind of my background, courses taught, academic interests, as well as a link to my office hours. So if you do want to reach out to me, I do have set office hours. They're on Friday from noon to 2 p.m. Central Time. And the link for the Zoom meeting is right here. It'll always be the same link. These office hours are completely optional. They're not required. They're not mandatory. And they're also not lectures, right? This is not a class that has live class meetings, either in person or online. These office hours are if you have a question, if you're kind of confused about something, or you need some advice on what to do on a project or something like that. That is what these office hours are for. Going back to the screen I was just at, that office hours information, also this is back on that home screen, is also available by clicking on this button here. So obviously, because this is the first week of class, I'm going to go ahead and start by clicking the Start Here button. Now, you'll see once you click on that, this is the welcome page, that I try to make things very clear-cut to students. I feel like confusion kind of breeds a lot of bad things in a college class. So I like to make sure you have all the information you need at the start, and you know what you need to do at the start. So that you can be successful this semester. So you'll see that when you click on this page, it literally will be step-by-step instructions of what you need to do when you start this course. So the first one, step one, you're already kind of doing it, right? You're watching the video. Watch my welcome video. Make sure you watch this video in its entirety. Make sure you pay attention to it. So don't make this just background noise you listen to while you're doing something else that you actually would prefer to do. Pay attention to it. I'll try not to make it too long, but there is some important information in this video. Step two is going to be to read the syllabus. I will go over the syllabus here briefly, kind of hit some key points, but make sure you are responsible for reading that syllabus, so make sure you do it. Step three, this is the resource page, so it gives some information that is usually helpful to students. Links mostly with resources with the school, but also private additional resources. So for example, there's a link there to my YouTube channel, which is mostly focused towards general psychology, but there is some information and videos in there that are helpful for this class as well. Additionally, there's a link for getting Microsoft Office for free. You do need Microsoft Office in this class, particular PowerPoint. Don't pay for it. You can get access to it for free because you're a college student. So there's a link in there for it. Step 4 is going to be the orientation quiz. So this is very important. So multiple choice, 10-question quiz. You can take it as many times as you need, but you do need to get a score of 100% in order to unlock week 2 all the way through to the end of the semester, all of that material. It won't open, and I'll show you that after I go over the syllabus. It won't open up until you take and pass this orientation quiz with a score of 100%. You can take it as many times as you need, but it must be 100%. And that'll be due Sunday of the first week. Additionally, after that, step 5, you're going to do a discussion post. This discussion post, the first one, is very simple, right? It's just pretty much talking about yourself. In fact, I'll click on it here a little bit. So at a minimum, just include your name and major, why you're taking this class, and at least one thing that you would like to know about human development this semester. Talk about which life stage you're most interested in learning about, and then just whatever additional information, like if you want to talk about a hobby or an interest, something like that. The discussion board post, technically, there's an initial post you must do, so that's your first post. That's due Thursday, but I realize that during the first week, oftentimes students add classes late. There's a little bit of flux. So if you can't submit it Thursday by midnight, that's fine. Do it as soon as you can. I won't charge a late penalty for this first discussion board post. But technically, the initial post is due Thursday prior to midnight, and then you must respond to another student with a thoughtful, substantive response to them, which is a 50-word minimum by the following Sunday. The initial post is 200-word minimum. The response is 50. Going back, and incidentally also, all of the discussions, I said going back, now I'm going to skip back to where I was. All of the discussions will have a rubric. If you click on the 3-dot button and you click Show Rubric, it'll show you exactly what you need to include in order to get full credit for these. All right, so now going back for real this time, that's it, right? Once you hit step 5, you're done. You're done with everything you need to do during the first week of class. I'm going to go over the syllabus now. After I'm done going over the syllabus, I'll show you just how the course is kind of generally laid out so that you get a feel for how it'll be set up after this first week. So the syllabus, again, you're responsible, excuse me, you're responsible for reading the syllabus on your own. I'm just going to hit some of the key points here and wink, wink, nod, nod. You know, what I'm covering in this video, as well as what's in your syllabus, is what's on that orientation quiz. So first things first, as far as reaching out to me, if you do need to contact me, the preferred way of doing this is through Canvas Mail. So I'm going to go back to Canvas. What I'm talking about with Canvas Mail is this inbox feature right here. You click on it, there'll be a drop-down box, you select the course, and then all you have to do is select teacher, right? You don't even have to remember my name. You go right into teacher. So it makes it a lot easier for you. Now, going back to the syllabus here, that's the preferred way of reaching me. You can also send me an email from your UWF email, student email. Do not send me any emails from private emails like Gmail accounts. And I say that this is not the preferred way of reaching me because when you send me a message through Canvas Mail, I automatically get your course information on there. So I know specifically, you know, what class you're in, which is important because I teach a lot of different classes throughout the semester. And it can be kind of confusing. If you're sending me a large file, like in this class, we'll be doing presentations. So if you're doing like a video file, oftentimes it's difficult to send that through Canvas Mail. And in those cases, you can send it to me to the sfox1@uwf.edu. Office, I mentioned I do have those office hours on Friday from 12 to 2. If that is inconvenient for you, but you'd still like to meet with me, please just send me an email and give me 2 or 3 good days and times in which you can meet, and I'll try to accommodate it as much as possible. There is no course meeting times, either in person or virtually through like Teams or Zoom. This is a fully online class. The course description you can read on your own, as well as the student learning outcomes. As far as required material, The textbook for this course is actually provided to you free of charge. I do that on purpose. I intentionally feel very strongly about not charging students for textbooks because I feel like you already paid for tuition. You shouldn't have to pay for a textbook on top of it. So that is provided as you go through each of the modules throughout the semester. You'll see where there'll be a link for the textbook, and that information will be available to you. So you don't have to buy anything. No access code, no textbook. In addition to that, though, you do need to make sure you have a computer with reliable internet. The computer does need to have a microphone. It does need to have a video camera. And you also do need Microsoft Office. It says here Microsoft Suite. What that means is it includes Word, it includes PowerPoint, Outlook. Attendance. So you must complete that orientation quiz within the first week of class in order for me to list you as being in attendance. And that's very important because then that means you get financial aid if you get financial aid. If you don't, then you don't get that financial aid. Excuse me. So very important. The way I base whether or not you're in attendance during the first week of class is that you have to take that orientation quiz. Assignments. So there are a couple of different assignments here. The most frequent that you'll deal with are chapter quizzes. So these usually are 15-question multiple choice. You can take them only once, but they're not timed. They're open book. The one exception to this is the orientation quiz that you can take as many times as you need. And again, you do need to get a score of 100% on that. Exams. There will be 3 exams throughout the semester. Out of all 3 of the exams that we offer, the lowest exam score will be dropped. So that's done automatically in Canvas. Likewise, the quizzes, just to go back on that, there's 10 total, but the 2 lowest quizzes will be dropped. This also includes for both the quizzes and the exams if you miss one, right? So if you happen to miss an exam or you miss a quiz, you'll get a 0 for it. That'll count as you're dropped. The exams do have a time limit on it, and they are taken through an online proctoring service. Usually I use Proctorio. Discussion board post. So there are 4, strictly speaking, discussion board posts. You'll have one during this first week, and then for the next 2 weeks of the semester, so that'd be weeks 2 and week 3. And then you'll have another normal discussion board post at the end of the semester when we talk about death and dying. There will be other discussion assignments, but that's going to be linked to the presentation, so I'll get to that in a second. At the end of the course, you will have a paper that you'll have to do. It's not really a research paper, though. It's 2,000 words minimum, and it's what's called a self-reflection, a developmental self-reflection paper. So basically what you're going to be doing is reflecting on biological, psychological, and sociological milestones, events, influences in your life, right? So that's why I say it's not a research paper. You're talking about yourself. Basically what I'm trying to do here is get you to use the material we're learning and apply it in your own personal life. So that's the self-reflection paper that we do at the end of the semester. Class presentations. Excuse me. So class presentations, a big part of your grade in this class, in fact, 30% of your grade, 30 points, is going to be based on you doing a presentation in the course. That's done using PowerPoint. You'll do a video in the PowerPoint where you go over the slides and you present the information to the class. There's multiple different aspects to this presentation, and this will in particular be one of those areas where I will be very engaged with you, and it'll be interactive of me helping you come up with a topic and kind of refine what you're going to do. The presentation has to be 10 minutes long, and what it's going to be based on is you will select, it's usually second or third week of the class, a life stage in which you're going to present this presentation on, this video on. So, for example, the life stages in this class are birth and infancy, early childhood, middle childhood, adolescence, young adulthood, middle adulthood, and late adulthood. Those are your options. Now, we're covering those life stages throughout the semester, right? It's chronological. We're going to start with infancy, then we're going to go on to early childhood. So when we cover those life stages, if it's a life stage you selected to do your presentation on, that's when you're going to do your presentation. So what'll happen is students will look at the information I provide, they'll read the textbook, say we're in early childhood, and then they're going to look at the student presentations who picked early childhood. And in these presentations, you're going to talk about a specific topic not covered in class. And there's really 3 categories here. You see that listed right here. So you can speak about a therapy, a treatment, and or a program specifically designed to address growth in that life stage. So say you picked early childhood, you're selecting that topic. Maybe you're going to select something like programs in school that help kids with language acquisition or with reading. Number 2 on here, second option, a particular physical, psychological, or sociological concern specific to that life stage. So for example, with early childhood, you could select something like a learning disability, because that's oftentimes diagnosed in that life stage. The third option here is a cross-cultural evaluation of how that life stage is viewed in the United States versus another country or another culture. So maybe looking at something like early childhood, maybe I'm curious about something like kindergarten education. Is it different in the United States versus Germany? I don't know. That sounds like a good topic though, right? So that'd be a cross-cultural evaluation. So those are your 3 main options. And again, this is something I'll be interacting with you on throughout really the semester until that presentation is due. It's kind of a double-edged sword here though, folks, because I know most students, just from past history, usually do pick or prefer to pick something like birth and infancy because, oh my God, I want to talk about babies, or I want to talk about kids. That sounds so cool. It's a double-edged sword because those are life stages we're covering pretty early in the semester. So that means you're going to have to do the presentation pretty early in the semester. But the flip side of that is you're getting it out of the way. You're getting it done with. So that's kind of a big benefit. Just something to keep in mind. And I suggest during this first week, you start thinking right now, what am I going to do? If I have to do a presentation, should I do one earlier so I get it out of the way? I don't really want to do elderly, but it's at the end of the semester. Maybe that works better for me. What am I going to actually specifically be doing the topic on, doing the presentation on? Just some things to start asking yourself. When it becomes available for you to select those life stages, you do it yourself, but it's not available during this first week. I will let you all know by sending out a course announcement on it. Now, I said the presentations are a big part of your grade. Part of what goes into that, I said students are going to be posting their topics. During those life stages, we will still have discussion boards. However, those discussion boards are considered part of your presentation grade. The way it works is that students who are presenting for that life stage will post on the Monday of that week. Students who are not presenting will post or will respond to those presentations on Thursday. And then the students who posted, who presented, will have until the Sunday to respond. Sounds kind of confusing. It's pretty easy. As we get closer to that and we transition, I'll be sure to send out an announcement to let you all know. Selection of presentation topics. So again, usually this is about the second week of class. Sometimes I do it in the third. I'll send out an announcement and I'll let you know the life stages. And I'll also specifically let you know when those topics will be due, when those presentations will be due. And then you go in and I'll have instructions on how to do this, and you sign yourself up for the life stage that you're wanting to do your presentation on. Easy 3 points for this, right? You don't even have to do anything besides sign up for that life stage. I'll see that you signed up for it. You get 3 points. Super easy. Don't miss out on these. Every semester I have, 2, 3, 4 students that don't even do that, right? They're just like, I'm not going to do it. That's unfortunate because you miss out on 3 really easy points. And this is the other part. I then put you in a life stage. And typically what ends up happening is you get picked in one of the first life stages that are going to be presented. So Don't procrastinate. Be on the lookout in the second week to see that announcement go out. And once it goes out, if you really want a life stage, go in, sign up for the life stage that you want. You see here the grade breakdown as far as the points and the percentage of your grade. There's only 100 points possible in this course. I do that on purpose, trying to make it kind of easy for all of you. You see the grade scheme. Course policies. So, of course, as I mentioned, email is the best way to reach me, specifically Canvas mail. I do try to respond within 24 hours. However, I will not respond after 5 p.m. or on the weekend. So what I mean by after 5 p.m. is after 5 p.m. on Friday. So if you send me an email at 5:30 on Friday, I'm probably not going to respond to it until Monday. That's important for you to know because the quizzes, the exams, a lot of the assignments in this class are due Sundays at midnight. It's particularly important going into the second part, late policy, because if you turn in work late, you do get a 15% penalty for each 24-hour period after the due date. If you feel that you have stuff going on during that week and you can't get in touch with, or you can't finish it, send me an email. I can give you an extension, but I don't answer them after 5 p.m. on Friday. So don't procrastinate. Don't sit there and be like, oh, it's Saturday, man, I can't finish these assignments. I'll just email the professor and tell him I can't finish it, and he'll give me an extension. No, I won't, because I won't answer that until Monday. And in order to get an extension on a due date, you need to not just notify me, but get approval. Very important. So don't procrastinate on that. Online communication and etiquette. So this is very important. I'm a big believer in respect and professional communication. That is from you all to me, from me to you, and from you all with one another. And of course, make sure you feel very comfortable. You read over the student handbook as far as what conduct is allowed and not allowed. In keeping with that, I'm kind of unique in this regard, but history has taught me to cover this. There are two situations where I do deduct points from your final grade. The first one involves you communicating with me in an inappropriate way. Whether that's over text, it's over phone, it's over Zoom, email, you name it. If you become argumentative, you become defiant, you become disruptive, I can warn you, I will warn you. And if it continues, then I'll deduct 1 point from your final grade, which is 1% of your final grade. That's for the first offense. If it happens again after that, either stemming from the same situation or a different one, it's 2 points. If it continues beyond that, I do reserve the right of notifying the school and filing a conduct complaint against you. Now, I want to clarify, you can disagree with me. You can voice your disagreement with me. I am not in any way stifling your voice. What I'm saying in this regard is be respectful. As a professor, I can tell you I have been threatened. I have had students curse at me. I've had them belittle me, and it is not going to be tolerated. From both of us, I promise you I will not use that type of language with you either. And I understand that sometimes you can be upset. Sometimes you can be disappointed. You can be frustrated. Oftentimes in an online class, I'll say this much as a counselor. Oftentimes, we assume things that aren't present. So if you get an email, it's really easy to be like, oh, look at what this person wrote. He said da-da-da-da-da. Well, no, maybe it's just taken the wrong way, right? So there's no reason to get offended and pissed off and then fire back an email that's going to be really nasty, that's going to get a nasty response. It just spirals out of control. I do warn you on this, so I do let you know. If it continues, that's where it becomes a problem. So usually the way that works, I'll say, hey, I think things are a little heated here. How about we just take a day off? We'll talk tomorrow. And usually that works. The second thing is if you schedule an appointment with me, so not the normal Friday office hours, but say you email me and you say, I can't make Friday office hours. I really want to meet with you. Can you meet me Tuesday at 2 p.m.? And I send back an email and I say, yeah, absolutely. Let's meet Tuesday at 2 p.m. via Zoom. And then 2 p.m. comes on Tuesday and I'm waiting and you don't show up. And I wait and I wait and I wait and you don't show up. That's going to be a 1-point deduction for the first offense, and there's no warning given there. For the second offense, it's 2 points. My time is valuable. I want to be available for my students, but you have to understand, if I'm making myself available for you outside of those normal established hours, that's me giving up my free time to help you. So be respectful of that fact, because that's taking time from my child, from my wife, from my friends, from myself. And it isn't fair for you to do that and then just not show up because you forgot. Other than that, that's pretty much it. Read the rest of the syllabus about accommodations, veteran services, the class schedule. You see the schedule listed here, as well as due dates. Please understand the schedule is subject to change if something happens. I will send an announcement and an email to let you all know that it's been changed. This is particularly important because remember, the presentation, the life stage that you select to do your presentation on is going to be presented when we cover it. So if you're doing birth and infancy, it's going to be during week 4. If you're doing early childhood, it'll be during week 6. Middle childhood, week 7. Adolescence, week 9, so on and so forth. So that's it for the syllabus. I'm going to go back to Canvas here real quick, and I'm going to show you how just a typical week is set up in the course. So first things first, this is the modules page now. And remember I said you need to take the orientation quiz and pass it with a score of 100%. Well, you'll see here, week 2, week 3, week 4, it's all grayed out. I'm clicking here, nothing's coming up. Because I'm logged in as like a fake student's account, I didn't take that orientation quiz and pass it with 100%. Once you do, you'll see where this little circle on the side will turn to a check mark. And then at that point, you'll have access to all of the course material for the entirety of the semester. If you want to work ahead in this class, you can work ahead in this class. In fact, I encourage it. It's a really good way of being proactive in the class. But remember, you can't work behind, right? Even if you're a minute, 5 minutes late on a due date, you're going to get a 50% penalty for each 24-hour period. Now, I'm going to leave the student view and just show you in week 2 how the course is set up. So every week or every topic we cover, there's an essential, or there's a module page that talks about the kind of the overview. So like here, we're talking about essential concepts in week 2. This is kind of the overview module. We call it the module page. So in it, you'll see where it'll give some information about that topic. It'll have the textbook, the specific pages within the textbook, as well as the assignments that are going to be due. And you see underneath that you have links for everything. There's always going to be a study guide attached for every module. So in that study guide, it's going to basically tell you what you need to focus on and look at. If you click on that link and you see where it's doing this, you just have to click there and a little download and pull up. And there it is. The link for the textbook is included right next to it. These are done as PDF. So same thing, if you see where it's doing that, you can always click here. PowerPoint. This is the PowerPoint presentation. It's just a regular presentation. It's not with audio or anything like that. Video. So oftentimes I'll include additional videos. I mentioned I have that YouTube channel. Also, I'll try to post lecture videos where I go over the PowerPoints and I'll put them there. And then every module will always have a quiz and will always have a discussion that are attached to it. As we go into the life stages, you'll see where the discussions then are based off of the presentations. But for these first few weeks, we're not doing life stages. We're talking about like theories and basic concepts. So those will be set up like this introductory discussion during the first week. We're going to do an initial post by Thursday and then respond to another students by Sunday. So this is how a typical week is set up. As we go through the class, I will be reaching out to all of you individually through email as well as through announcements. So please look forward to seeing those and to responding to them. And of course, if you have any questions, comments, concerns, please reach out to me. Other than that, folks, that's it. Again, welcome to the class, and I look forward to getting to know all of you as the semester progresses.